Hey guys, we're back at HIMSS. I'm actually here in the booth with Vikram, who's one of our pre-sales technicians. And today we're going to walk through one of our use cases around coordination of benefits for financial assistance programs, which is a hard place to be in the medical industry today. A lot of issues with secondary coordination setups, validation, reimbursement. A lot of focus on how do we get the provider reimbursed faster? How do we ensure that the patient doesn't get an invoice at the end of the day for something that another company is actually covering? So again, we're going to go through this use case with Vikram, who actually built a solution around this problem. Vikram?
Yeah, and so what the robot we're going to see do is log into a remote system and then simulate where that data is. And the data is going to be stored in an EMR solution. And so we can tell typically with a patient whether or not they have a primary insurance, a secondary insurance, and whether or not that primary balance has been paid and if there's a remaining balance. Right? We want to make sure that that coordination of benefits is accurate and that the bill is being sent to the correct person and not the patient, making them angry after a troublesome experience.
Absolutely.
And so in order to do this, what we did was build a simple automation in UiPath Studio and again, simulate that the EMR system using a web browser. So I'm going to go ahead and open UiPath Studio with the demonstration. Walking through this, what we have on the screen is first Excel, getting data from an Excel web page where we have a list of the patients that need to be checked for the coordination of benefits. And once we get that data, we're going to log into our claim portal and then search for each of the patients' names.
Okay.
In that search, we're going to return all the necessary information, such as the primary insurance provider, the secondary insurance, primary paid. And here's where the money comes in, where we're going to actually have the robot do some patient logic. If there's a secondary insurance, then great, we're going to return the balance. If there's not, then we're going to say that there's no coordination of benefits set up. And then with that audit trail, we're going to release that information back in Excel and get a final output.
Perfect.
So let's go ahead and hit run. You can see on the screen the list of patients comes up quickly. And now we're going to open up the command portal, log into that portal, and then navigate and search. And you can see I paused it for demo purposes, but the robot is scraping that screen and getting all the necessary information, doing the logic, and automatically doing the output. And so removing that delay, we can see that going on without the delay, it's going to go through the screens a lot faster. And we're going to be able to have the robot iterate through large amounts of input data and a large number of patients, in this case 30, before we get the output.
So Vikram, you said scraping. In reality, it's not scraping, correct? We're using computer vision to look at the underlying object to pull the data in, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And in this scenario, we had to simulate it for PHI reasons. But in a real scenario, there should be no issues doing this through a Citrix environment, correct?
Exactly. We have a Citrix connector to allow us to access the EMR at the user interface level, even in Citrix environments. The great thing is that soon we will be able to access even at the API level, making the automation go even faster.
Terrific. And how fast is this automation? I know you slowed it down a little bit. How
fast? In this specific use case, we go through about 30 patients and get the data, do the logic in about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes.
And this, right now it's attended. Could this be in an attended mode too?
Yeah, actually this is unattended right now. I could schedule this to run and have an Excel file and have the robot run automatically.
Amazing.
And here we see the output of activity of where we get all of the data. Let me pull that Excel file back up. Here we can see we had columns A through D of the input data, but then we get now all of this additional information that we pulled from the simulated EMR system. Primary insurance, secondary insurance, the amount that was paid, the remaining balance, and then the final logic outcome that we had.
So if I was the financial assistance program, could I run this on a physician's portal and get this information back without really impacting the physician or his IT organization?
Yeah, that's the great thing. You can have the robot run on a virtualized environment and not interact with the provider itself at all.
Perfect. And this outcome we see it in Excel, but this could be in a workflow system, this could be chart notes, it could be ERP based and not Excel at all, correct?
Yeah, the great thing is with this process, you can set it up in any way of what the process is. Have the output be in Excel, or even put that output somewhere and do another activity based on that decision that was made.
Perfect.
In this specific case, we just had 3 logic examples, but realistically, you can make an unlimited amount of logic and have the robot do that, as long as it's input into the process and the robot's told what to do.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate the time today, Vikram. So I think that what we learned here, we learned real-time coordination of benefit, which reduces patient abrasion because benefits are set up correctly. Very little abrasion of the physician because they really don't have to get IT involved. And also, real-time reimbursement for physicians. This end-to-end solution is something that's very applicable. And Vikram, how long did it take you to build this?
I think it took me about 3 hours.
Terrific, phenomenal. So again, thank you for coming to HIMSS, and we'll see you at the show.